my name is Sofie. Today I'm on a camping trip in Sweden. I'm gonna try to spend the night in a hot tent, something I've never tried before. I also have something really delicious planned for my dinner. I hope you will follow my adventure. Look at this. Size and just with this one, extremely warm. I'm here in Sweden. I have found this beautiful campsite right by the water. I'm hoping to do some fishing later on, but first I need to put up my tent. I'm gonna try to spend the night in a hot tent, something I've never tried before. I received this hot tent from the brand One Tigris. It's their new solo camping hot tent, so this video is sponsored by them. I'm really excited to get the opportunity to try and spend the night in a hot tent. I've never tried it before, so I hope that I can manage. Now I'm just walking around here at the campsite, trying to find the perfect spot to put up the tent. We are in Sweden, so there are a lot of big rocks. We don't really have this in Denmark. I'm pretty sure the tent is a bit more than 2.5 meters across and it's round. So I need to find a pretty big spot without too many big rocks. I think maybe I can fit it in here. It looks to be okay size. Perhaps I will have this big rock inside the tent, but then I'll just use it as a small table or something like that. I think I'll figure it out. Okay, time to put up the tent. I haven't tried to put it up before. I would have liked to test it out in the garden in front of my apartment building at home, but I didn't really have the time for it this week. So this is the first time that I unpack it and see how it is. I got it up. It looks really cool, and it only took me 3 times to put the poles in correct. But it's actually pretty easy, I see. I just had to put it in the correct order. I'm really impressed by the size of this tent because it packs down quite small and it doesn't weigh that much. Here we have the opening for the stove, which you can hide behind this fabric. So I could actually also use this tent without the stove in the summertime. Let's check it out on the inside. There is a lot of space in here. So I have the sleeping area, which is definitely just for one person. Or maybe one person and a dog or something like that. But here in the front there is a lot of space. So that's nice that you can just hang out here with the fire going in the stove. So far I'm pretty excited about the tent. Now I just need to set up the stove. That's the part that's worrying me a little bit. So they also sent me their stove to use with the tent. This is a little bit heavy. It doesn't pack down any smaller than this. So for this camping trip I had to rent a car and drive here with a lot more gear than what I'm used to. But for winter trips I think that's okay. I have the leather gloves to use when the stove gets hot. And then in here I have all the pipes. I'm a little bit in doubt how many of the pipes you need to use. So maybe I added too many. I just put up them all. And then I put one of the angles at the top because I know it's gonna be raining a lot this night. So I thought that could be smart. If you have any inputs on what's correct to do here, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm very much a beginner at this. So happy to get the tent up, and it went okay. I didn't really have any lunch today, but I brought something to cook here. I was thinking to make a campfire and cook it on the fire, but perhaps I should just get the stove started and then I can try and cook it inside the tent using the stove. At this campsite here in Sweden there is a small shed where you can take some wood to use for a campfire. In Sweden they really do a lot for the people who like to spend their time in nature. I bought a new piece of gear on this trip. Something I'm really excited to test out. It's my new saw, a silky big boy. It looks so cool. Look at this. I think it's really sharp. In one of my previous videos I mentioned that I wasn't too happy about my saw and I wanted to save up for a silky saw. And after posting that video I received some very kind donations. So now I could buy the silky saw. I just want to say a huge thank you for the donations. That's really so kind. And also just thanks to everyone who's watching and following my adventures. You make it possible to buy cool new gear like this. So let's go and test it out. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can get a fire started in the stove. That's gonna be interesting. Now I have all my small pieces of firewood, some kindling and some bigger pieces. So I'm gonna try and start my stove. Now the fire is starting to get going inside the stove. Check it out. I learned that I actually needed to close the door in order to really get it started. So now I will just let it sit for a while and not touch it, and then in some time I will feed it some more firewood. So while the stove is burning, I'm gonna put up my sleeping system. Here at the back of the tent we have a pretty cool feature. There is this ventilation system with like a small fabric covered stick that you can put up to get some air flowing inside the tent. The shape and the color of this tent kind of reminds me of a Pokemon. Do you know which one I'm talking about? If you also thought about that, then please leave a comment. That's so funny. Perfect timing to get the fire going. Now it's starting to rain. This ended up taking quite some time, putting up the tent and starting the stove. So now I'm really hungry. So I'm just gonna cook everything I brought for my dinner. I've been super excited to try and cook using this stove. So I brought this big and heavy pan that I got last year for Christmas, or 2 years ago I think. So the idea is to put the pan on the stove, heat it up, and then make a dish that I love, that I invented myself. I call it smashitas. It's kind of a combination of tacos and smash burgers. Now I got my vegetables chopped up. Let's see if the pan is hot. The sound is correct, at least. Time for a step 2, if you know what I mean. I bought this Swedish cider. It's with grapefruit, green tea and plums. Wow, that's fancy. Cheers. Not the best that I've had, but still good, especially in this setting. This is starting to look really good, and the smell is just so nice. And check out this beautiful view I have while cooking. Time to add the beef on the pan. When I bring meat like this, I always freeze it from home so that I'm sure that it will keep cold. I made this dinner once before on another camping trip in Denmark. If you haven't seen my video from that, you can check it out here. It's definitely hot now. And the secret weapon, some cheddar cheese on top. It's done, my first smashita. It's so good. That was really good. I need to make one more. Time for a second taco. I really love to cook on this stove. It's so cool that you can just sit in here in your tent and cook your dinner. And also feeling very warm. Oh my god, this is so greasy. It's already starting to get dark and it's only 5:30 in the evening. Tonight it's actually the night where we're gonna turn the clock backwards. So I will get 1 extra hour of sleep. That's really good. 1 extra hour out in nature before I have to go back to my normal life. But that also means that it's gonna get dark even earlier during the week. So I guess there's no more camping trips in the weekdays after work. Unless I just go in the complete dark. Maybe that could be a fun challenge. Give me a comment if you would like to see a video of me doing that. Before it gets dark, I'm gonna do some fishing. I brought this cool little fishing pole. I got it from my dad. He says that it's 25 years old, so almost as old as I am. But he also said that it has never been used, and I can see that it still has the plastic on it. So I hope that it's working. I think it's really cool that you can pack it down to such a small size and just fold it out like this. I think I'm gonna go with this one. This is my favorite. Now I'm all set up and ready to do some fishing. It doesn't really work. I think it's bended here at the end, so the eyes are not aligned. So it keeps on like jumping when I try to pull it in. Maybe a 25-year-old fishing pole is not the best option. But I really want to buy one for myself, one that packs down in the same way as this one. I only have the one that I can split in 2 pieces, so it's a little bit too big to fit in my backpack. This is really cool. Even if there are no chance of catching a fish with this pole, it's still just nice to stand here enjoying a calm evening with this beautiful fall weather. Coming back to the tent after my fishing trip, and the stove is just red. I think it's extremely warm right here. That's a little bit scary, but I guess that's how it works with these stoves. Now it's almost completely dark outside. I'm just sitting here in the tent in front of the stove, getting nice and warm. I must say I'm a big fan of this hot tent. I would love to go out and do it again when it's really cold in the winter time. Maybe even with some snow. That could be really cool. It has started to rain quite a bit outside, so I just wanted to go out and check the chimney on the tent. I think it was a good idea to put the angled pipe at the top so the rain doesn't come in. It looks to be okay even in the rain. I've jumped into my sleeping bag now in my nice warm tent. I'm just gonna watch a movie I downloaded before I left, and then I'm gonna go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning from the tent. It's been a good night. It has been raining a lot, but the tent was good. No water came in. I think the fire went out in the stove as I was falling asleep, so it was really nice and warm to lay here yesterday evening. Definitely not the last time I'm going camping with a hot tent. This has been so nice. As I said yesterday, I rented a car to get here to Sweden. So today I just need to pack up a little bit quickly to return the car back home in Denmark. I think the drive is maybe 3 hours, and then I need to charge it a little bit. So unfortunately I cannot get the stove going this morning, even though I really wanted to cook a nice breakfast on it. I just have to get going. But first I need to get out and make some coffee. Such a beautiful morning here in Sweden. A little bit cold, but This view is just so pretty. Now it's time to empty my stove. I have no idea how that's gonna be, but I guess it is to just open it and then shake everything out. Let's see. That went pretty easy, I think. I'm just a little bit dirty, but that's expected. So far so good with the hot tent and the stove. And I love that the color of the stove has changed now. Yesterday it was silver. Now it's a bit more like bronze color. I guess after it has been heated up. I managed to fit all the pipes back in. That was a little bit difficult, but it was okay. Now I need to clean my hands. I always bring a pack of wet wipes when I go camping. I think it's a very smart thing because you get a little bit dirty and these are just so easy to get cleaned up again. Here you go, as good as new. Now it's time to pack everything up. One tigress also sent me this very nice sleeping mat. It's the new winter sleeping mat. I think it has an R value of 7 and it is pretty big and very comfortable to sleep on. I had a good night here. The tent is packed down. That was pretty easy. Morning coffee is my favorite part of going camping, especially with this view. Now I'm all packed up. I have all my stuff and my coffee for my drive. And I checked my campsite, leave no trace. So I'm all good to get going and drive back home to Denmark. Thank you so much for watching my video and supporting my channel. It really means a lot. And make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of my adventures. I will put out new videos every other weekend. I already walked to the car once with the big stove and a few other things. I couldn't manage to carry it all in one go.